Hi everyone, Peter here from Flow High Performance, and this is an instructional video for the upper-lower 4 days per week hypertrophy training template. In the first tab that says Start Here, we have a link to this video that you're watching right now in case you ever need to refer back if you don't understand something. Furthermore, if you still don't understand anything about the template or if you have any issues, you can contact me at this email address right here and I can try my best to assist you with your concerns. Here we have a simple step-by-step guide to help you navigate the template and make sure you are using the template correctly. We will now go through each of these steps and show you how to use this template. Before we do this, let's quickly have a look at the training program itself. If we move now to the tab that says Training Program, we can see the basic structure of the program. As we can see, this is a 4-day per week training program which trains the upper body on days 1 and 3 and the lower body on days 2 and 4. The program runs in mesocycles of 5 weeks long. The first week is a deload where volume will be reduced, and the following weeks are considered overloading training where volume will be higher. Trainees could make the mesocycle shorter by only performing 4 weeks or even 3 weeks if that suits the schedule of the individual. We should also note that the training program hasn't been completed yet, so there is no prescription of volume or exercises. We need to complete the steps to customize the program specifically for our individual needs. So going back to the step-by-step guide, we can see here that the first step is to select our volume for each muscle group. So if we click on the tab that says volume, we can select how much volume we want to allocate to each muscle group. The amount of volume we implement is going to be highly individual to each trainee. This will be based on factors such as training experience, strength levels, external stress, time constraints, strengths and weaknesses, and many other factors. Volume is based entirely on the number of sets per muscle group per week, as this seems to be the most accurate way to calculate volume for hypertrophy training. Each muscle group has a rough recommendation for how many weekly sets should be performed, which is just an average practical recommendation for this program. However, trainees can allocate different volumes to each muscle group based on preference. It should also be noted here that some muscle groups say direct sets next to them. This means that the volume is only counted towards training that muscle group directly. This is because muscles like the triceps and biceps receive indirect training through compound lifts, but some extra direct training will be additionally beneficial for these muscles. Let's now select volumes for each muscle group. To do this, we need to click the arrow on the right-hand side of the cell and a drop-down menu will appear. This menu can't be seen on this recording as the software doesn't pick it up. However, there will be a list of numbers in each cell to select volume for. As we can see, we have selected 14 sets for the chest, 12 sets for the back, 9 sets for the quads, 9 sets for the glutes and hamstrings, 6 sets for the triceps, 10 sets for the biceps, and 8 sets for the calves. If we now go back to the Training Program tab, we can see that the number of sets for each exercise has been automatically filled out, with the deload having a reduced volume. The next step is to now select exercises for each of the training sessions. This can be done by going to the training program and clicking the arrow on the right-hand side of each exercise category, where a list of exercises for that exercise category will appear in a drop-down menu that you can choose from. These are based on the list of exercises found in the Exercises tab. If we click on this tab, we can see here that there is a list of exercises for each category. These are the exercises that will be seen in the drop-down menu in the training program. There is also an option to input your own exercises for any exercise category, if the one you want to implement isn't already in the list. Where it says Other, you can type in your own exercise and this will appear in the drop-down menu on the training program for that particular exercise category. For example, if we type in Exercise 1, we can go back to the training program and see that we can now select Exercise 1 from the drop-down menu. Let's now select exercises for each category. Now that we've selected exercises for the training program, the next step is to understand the reps in reserve system. If we click on the tab that says Understanding RIR, we can see a table that explains what this system is. Essentially, the reps in reserve system is a subjective rating of how close a set was taken to failure. It is important to understand this concept before completing the training program because this plays a major role in the prescription and success of the program. If we look at the training program, we can see here that there is an RIR range for each exercise. So it is important to understand what this means before performing the training program. If you are unfamiliar with this concept, it is recommended that you watch this video that is linked here to help you understand how the system works. Once you are familiar with the reps in reserve system, it is time to complete the training program. So we have the exercises filled out, the number of sets to perform, and the reps in reserve prescription. The only thing left to do is train and fill out the load and reps performed. The exact load and reps performed doesn't actually matter to any significant extent, as long as it falls somewhere in the rough hypertrophy range of 6 to 30 reps. Trainees could also go below 6 reps for some compound lifts if they want to have a slight strength focus. However, provided that sets are taken to the prescribed reps in reserve, the exact load and reps performed doesn't really matter. Although some exercises are better suited to different rep ranges, and trainees can use trial and error to figure out what exact rep ranges they want to train in. Furthermore, rep performance and load lifted can become a measure of progress over time. So if we record our training, we should be able to see slight trends in performance improvement over time. In terms of filling out the load and reps, we can see here that the reps performed can be individually recorded for each set. This is because as fatigue accumulates throughout a workout, performance will likely drop off with each set. In each cell, a drop-down menu can be selected and the reps performed can be selected for that particular set, and the load can be typed in manually. For example, a trainee may perform the dumbbell bench press for 4 sets on day 1, week 2. They may perform 25 kilos for 12, 11, 10, and 9 reps respectively. Once the mesocycle is completed, the trainee can review and recycle the program. There are no specific rules here. The trainee needs to use their own individual response to adjust the program for the next mesocycle. Trainees can increase or decrease volume for different muscle groups, or they can change exercises if they prefer. Furthermore, if the program went well, the trainee can simply repeat the same program and continue making progress for another mesocycle. The training program can be reviewed and recycled on an ongoing basis and adjusted based on how you respond to the program.